Hello everyone, welcome back to Napoleon Total War, and we are in the Russian campaign. Now, for those of you who had forgotten, I am in the process of trying to build up a good navy so that I can get into the Mediterranean and start doing some damage in there. Now, the reason for that is because essentially the French and the Spanish navy sort of run roughshod over the Mediterranean, and I really need a decent force to be able to push back at them, and that's essentially what we're building up here. So you can see if we look under the navy, look at that, we've got an admiral in there, and we've got 86 gun ship of the lines, and if I remember rightly, yes, we're still recruiting, so we've got 5 more turns and we're going to have a pretty substantial navy there. Now, let's just check our finances, because you can see our finances are okay. We are still at war with the Latvian Republic, the French Empire, the Kingdom of Spain, and the Kingdom of Italy. And we're getting on all right with the rest of them. So, policies you can see, fortunately I've been able to lower the tax level by 1, so that actually increases happiness across the board generally, and we'll deal with any issues. Ministers seem to be okay. Not sure about him. So let's see. They're all pretty much the same, really, aren't they? And you can see trade is going relatively well. So you see we've got the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. So you can see coffee and all that kind of stuff, and furs and random crap. And the Austrian Empire currently has the most trade. You can see good trade numbers there, as far as we can see. So essentially, what we're trying to do is get some armies sort of down into this general area. Now, we've got an army in Greece. Now, this is the army that took Greece, the lovely town and city of Athens. And the army is in good state, and you can see their numbers are good as well. We've got some lights, some lovely Jaegers in there. We've got some clippity-clops as well, mostly lancers. And we've got horsey artillery as well as a bit of foot artillery. Now, up here in Istanbul, where they're not really that happy, to be honest, we are still replenishing our numbers. There's Kutuzov, and if we look at this, you can see they're slowly getting happier. We did exempt the region from tax, but after a while it was just a case of, yeah, whatever type stuff, you know, and eventually it was like, well, let's just get the income off them. If they're going to be pissed, we might as well tax them and let them be pissed, so you never know. Anyway, so you can see there's steam dry dock, which enables us to create some really nice additional ships. So look at that 80-gun steamship, isn't that beautiful? See paddle steamers, the paddle frigate as well. I mean, just glorious pieces of naval architecture, and the recruitment and replenishment of the 80-gun ship of the line. So let's see, because if I remember rightly, and Navy here, yeah, they're 86-gun ship of the line, so they're going to be pretty formidable. And we're going to bring, we see we've got one guy here down doing the trade down there. And we've got trade here as well, so sort of in this sort of back area of the Mediterranean we're okay. It's only once we start to get out to the likes of Sicily and out here to the Horn of Africa and over here towards Spain is where we're going to run into the British Navy and the Spanish Navy. Ideally, the ideal situation for us is if we can take Gibraltar, because then we can put a navy that acts as a block there into the Mediterranean, and if we can take these ports here, then it essentially means that the French have no way of getting into the Mediterranean, neither do the Spanish, unless they go through Gibraltar, which we can then control. So that would be the ideal situation as far as we're concerned. Whether or not it'll actually turn out that way, we'll have to wait and see, because also we will be using our navy to move the armies. So whether or not we end up starting to get problems relating to our forces. So what we're trying to do is build up some additional forces as well. So we can got this little army here. They're in the process of being built under Bucks there. I won't even try and pronounce his name. So we're probably going to try and build him up a little bit more, and then bring him down to the likes of Istanbul. So at least, or maybe even Greece, we'll wait and see. But the problem is, you know, getting them there, and then we'll get the guys down into sort of this area. Now, whether or not we decide to attack Italy, I think it's more likely that we'll go through here, and we'll sort of try and take, if we can make it through, this is the trouble, you see. We're going to have to send the Navy ahead to clear out any others, because we don't really want our army to be sunk with all of the troops, or get sunk while they're progressing to Gibraltar, because Gibraltar's going to be a hard battle. It's a pretty insubstantial fort, but if we can take that, then we're on a good situation, and then obviously we can keep the Navy there, and we can send multiple trade ships out to here and have a little small Navy just moving around here and sniffing around and maybe sort of sitting up there, just to sort of stop anybody coming down by Portugal and dealing with our trade areas there, which is what we're going to be looking to take. So that's the direction we're looking to go right now, but we're still 5 turns away from our navy to pwn all those bitches, so to speak. So they are in the process of being built in Istanbul, because that's the best naval harbour that we have. It's a dry dock. So these guys here will produce, because they are a commercial port, then we will be able to recruit trade ships from here, and that's the kind of thing. So there you go, merchantman trade ships, and then hopefully we'll be able to get more trade down in this direction here, pick up these trade points here, these trade points down by the edges of Africa, and then also these trade points here. That will help boost our finances significantly. And if we then end up attacking, because we're at peace with Portugal, so we might even ally with Portugal, actually. That might be a good idea. Let's just see, because if we look at minor nations, the Kingdom of Portugal, they are currently indifferent. They can't trade. Let's say, see, ally of my enemies. Who are they? Ah, they're allied with Spain. Okay, so it could mean that we end up having to take out Portugal as well. So I'd rather not do that, because obviously I'm a big fan of Portugal. So let's just wait and see how things go. The finances are relatively okay. The armies are in the process of replenishing. And you can see ordnance factories, so we can build 6-pound horse artillery down here in Athens in Greece. So that might be an idea. Let's do that. Give us options at least. And you can see that there's a small little navy there, little trade ship. So we might actually use our little trade ship here to go sniffing around, see what he can find. See, that's helpful. Let's send him there. So he's now trading, and what does that get us? Well, either way, spices. So 20 spices, good. So that's, now you can see here's all the trade routes, which we have the ability to plunder if we desire, which will be a very helpful thing. Now the trouble is if you plunder them, then they're going to get their attention, and you may not necessarily want to get the attention of the English Navy, especially as they're sort of up there, and you know, sort of, no, that's Denmark. There they are, hello. So these guys here, we won't deal with them until we've dealt with France and Spain, as we are allied with the English. So as far as I can remember, let's just quickly double check. Oh, hello United Kingdom. See, we're very friendly, we're allied, and we're trading with them. And there you go, so we're at war with Spain and the French. So if we can attack through Spain, take out Spain, and then attack through the base of France, then it means that we can sort of create a pincer between us and the Austrians, and maybe even the Prussians up here. I mean, you can see here, that's, yeah, that's Mecklenburg-Strauss. So let's go and have a look at them. So Kingdom of Italy, see, Mecklenburg-Strauss cannot trade. So they don't have any ports in their home region, so they can't really trade. Okay, well, there's not really much we can do about that, except for we are going to be trying to, what I think we'll do actually is let's create some more trade ships. Now, see, we could get just a little merchantman or a carronade frigate in the Indiaman, trade ship, or merchantman. What's the difference between the two? Speed, firepower, okay. Oh, okay. So that one there, okay, let's go for one of these. See, ideally, we would like something from here. So, like a little dinky sloop like that can just act as a scout. So we might build one of those as well. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we're building another trade ship. Ideally, I don't really want to use trade ships as scouts or anything like that. That would be a bad idea, but at the moment we're kind of limited to what we can do. Whether or not we can get along here and get some more of these trade things, that's why I'm in the process of at least trying to build that, because most of the Ottoman Empire got taken down when we did all this. So in that regard, it means that there may not be a lot of trade. You can see that area looks clear. We don't know about these areas because they're near Spain. So at least if we can, you know, see, we've increased by 740 the amount of money that we're getting in every turn. So if we can get a stranglehold on trade, then we'll be in a very strong position to dictate terms to the other powers in Europe. And this is our spy on walkabout. Another gentleman there. There we go. Well, precisely. Now, what are the French doing? See, there we go. The French and the Spanish Navy are having a fight. And they're pretty small navies in comparison. And here you can see the Austrians moving up to sort of defend Vienna. And they're pushing back against the Italians, which is a good thing, which is kind of what we want. The thing we have to be careful is not to let the Austrians get too big, in the same way that the Prussians got too big in the previous playthrough. So it's something that we've got to keep an eye on. If we can then start capturing... What? So, the Kingdom of Prussia wants me to join war against Württemberg. So, his enemies are the Kingdom of Spain, Kingdom of Italy. And he'll join our war against... Okay, let's do that then. Keep the Prussians happy. Even though we're technically not going to really do anything. We're just going to sort of sit here and twiddle thumbs, you know, twiddle twiddle and all that. Oh, hello. Denmark, Norway. Norway, Denmark. Denmark, Denmark. Norway, Norway. And there's the Spaniards, who are literally giving the British a right old going over. Logistics, technological advance. So you can see then the next technology under is the metric system. Armchair general, this is this gentleman here. So he's in the process of doing research and all that funky good stuff. Unit recruited in the Ionian Sea. Hello there, unit recruited. So we're going to go into here, we're going to go to the Navy, and then we're going to send this gentleman way the balls down here. Choo-choo and all that. See, that's interesting. Who's that? Ah, okay. Let's move him to there. Oh, good, we'll have that too then. There we go. In fact, actually, no, let's move him along. Is there anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else along here. In which case, what we will do... Oh, I love this music. Is we shall recruit more trade ships. See, armed merchantmen. See, that's 1242 and that's 540. So we're going to go for 4 trade ships. We may not use them all. Let's just check our money. Yeah, it's not too bad under the circumstances. Here we go. So we know about that one. And building has been constructed. Look at that, an opera house, a grand opera house in Rumelia, which is Istanbul. So what that should do is that should generally increase the happiness of everybody across the board. And you can see there, growth, roads, all that kind of stuff. So I would say that things are looking quite good. Let's have a look at the infrastructure. I want to upgrade all those roads there in Istanbul. And what I'd like to do also, we're already upgrading the infrastructure here, which is just fantastic. So you can see there's lots of building going on, lots of improvement, lots of attempts to make the populace more happy, and then obviously we're going to go and kill people, which is kind of, you know, par for the course. And there's the Kingdom of Sicily. So we are allied with them, so we have no reason to annoy them. And then this gentleman here is essentially scouting out this area. I know he's a trade ship, but at least it's better than nothing. At least if we lose it, it's only a trade ship that we lose. So let's end the turn. Because we're letting all our armies reinforce, and we're keeping money together, so money's pretty good. Now, the thing is, I want to keep alive. This is the only drawback. I miss having the great... Oh, hello. Oh, goodness me. You cheeky sod. That's what I was afraid would happen. And then, yeah, they're going to come straight after him and sink him. Yep. Goodbye. Yeah, we lost our trade ship. And that is exactly why... Oh, you son of a bitch. And that's exactly why I want to get a navy. And is he going to come straight after us? No, he's not. But, so what I want to do, this is why I want to get the navy, but we're still 4 or 5 turns away from that. So, oh, Austrians are up to something. Are they pushing back against the Swiss is the question. Because that's essentially what we're going to need in order for things to kind of go our way, so to speak. And I'd like for things to go our way. Call me old-fashioned, you know. Based on what the Austrian campaign was like, I was like, yeah, I'd like for things to go my way. Just for a bloody change. Nation destroyed, the electorate of Hesse Castle. I wonder if that's where the Hesses come from. The Hessian troops that were part of all sorts of things. Right, okay, so 64 ship of the line, yeah, that too. And these guys are in the Black Sea, so you can see... Haha, see what I did there? Yeah, I'm sure you can see. Oh my goodness, look at that. So there is also a trade ship in here somewhere. Or at least there will be. No, it's down here, isn't it? Silly boy. Silly boy. Trade ship. Hello, trade ship. So it means then that we can't, because of that very small French navy that was doing numbers on us, we're going to send him to at least there for the time being so that we can get the spices. And see, this is the dick that we want to be worried about. No, in fact, we'll move him back. We'll move him back. It's better to be safe. Because then once we bring in our navy, this guy will just go glub, glub, glub to the bottom of the ocean, as indeed he deserves to do. So I don't really want to risk losing ships. So we've got a barracks in Athens, which is excellent news. And we could do a court of justice. That would be expensive. It adds to repression, but it enables us to do research, enables us to recruit people. Now, let's see what it gives us if we build a drill school. So we can Uhlans, Hussars, Musketeers, Jaegers, Mounted Rifles, nice, Grenadiers, Dragoons, beautiful. So I'm thinking, because if I remember rightly, up here in Odessa, we're building a drill school. So that's the other recruitment spot. If we were to make this spot here the other recruitment area, that would be very helpful indeed. Now, let's see, recruitment adds in, let's do that as well. Because we're not really needing to build anything else. We're building roads, we're building improvements here. We might want to consider building a star fort as one of our main sort of front line Mediterranean forts, at least at the time being. So this gentleman here, what is he? Oh, he's a merchantman, Mr. Merchantman. So, is he looking up there somewhere? I'm not sure what he's doing there. Very strange. So there is the merchantman there. And there is another merchantman. So let's go and put him there. So at least he's in safety. And we don't have to worry about the marauding French Navy round here. Now the good thing is obviously you can see here, United Kingdom, Portugal, Sweden, all the rest of it, we're pretty much friends with most of them. But it means that we will be able to do little acts of piracy here on certain areas once we get round to this sort of point. Now, for those of you who are not aware, you know, most of these episodes tend to be about 45 minutes, sometimes an hour in length, due to limited time because I am moving house and all the rest of that funky good stuff. Then essentially the episodes will be a little bit shorter than usual. Now, if it turns out that you like the 30-minute episodes of Total War, then obviously, as far as I'm concerned, I'm more than happy to go do those going forward. It just means that the overall campaign will be a lot more episodes, but I mean, we got up to 72 episodes for the Austrian campaign, so by all means let me know in comments on how you prefer it, if you like the shorter episodes, because obviously it takes a lot of time to sit down and watch a 45 or hour long episode of Total War, which, you know, may not necessarily be what you call the most riveting content in the universe. However, we are going to end the turn. Now, damn, I forgot to zoom in on the map because I wanted to keep an eye on what's going on in there. So there you can see all the Prussians and the French Navy having a little bit of a battle. We've got a French army walking through the centre of France, as you would kind of expect them to do. And the Prussians and the Austrians here working together down towards the Italians. There we go. So they're supported by the Prussians. There you can see the English. And there they are by Danzig, which is Poland now, but now known as West Prussia in that area. Obviously, you know, World War II, all that funky good stuff. Anyway, Kingdom of Spain. Here we go. Top gallants. Excellent. And we can... Abolition of slavery. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's go back to our research, because what we want to do, you can see, we've got 4 areas. Now, this guy has got 2 there. So if we go to that one, Sofia is in the process of being built to a classical university. This one is not a classical university, but we're going to make it one. So essentially, we will be able to have all of these as classical universities like this, which will just generally improve the whole situation. Now, what we might want to do is start doing... Now, you can see we're building a drill school so that we've got research options there. We've researched all the industrial, which is great. So we need to build the drill school. Now, what's that? The factory. We need to build a factory somewhere. So let's have a look here. What's that? A supply warehouse. That'll be a good idea, because then if we get pushed back here, then we have options. Now, let's just look around, because we want to find a place for a supply warehouse. We may actually, what we'll do is we'll just cancel that, because I want to look at building. So that's a great estate, which is a good thing. That's a merchant house, which helps generate great amounts of money. See, 100, 12 per turn region. So I'm going to want to build some of those. So let's go and have a look around, see what we've got. Supply warehouse, stud farm. Yep, I live there. Not really. And let's see. So there's the manufactory. So could that be it? Let's see. Stables. No. Great estates. Supply warehouse. What are the options? Market. No. Manufacturing gunsmith. Let's have a look at the building browser. So, if we look, no, that's not it. Let's have a look. Market, is that it? Supply warehouse, supply depot, banking, market, okay. So, let's just have a look at the research here. Drill school we know about, factory. So it's found us a factory, and that's 3,600. And where is that factory? That's there. So we could... right, so factories are built off manufacturers. Okay, that's fair. So what I think we might do is we might hold off on spending a little bit of money. Yeah, we better. I mean, I'd like to do great estates because great estates add to region wealth. Obviously, it reduces the happiness of everyone, but... oh, look at this. Taxidermist. Oh, well, get stuffed. And +2 movement range. Fantastic. And, oh, there we go. Merchantman trade ship. Hello, merchantman trade ships. So we'll have literally like a navy of trade ships which will be able to move out. You, sir, can go in there. So there we go. Trade ship, trade ship, trade ship. And they've got names as well, which is fantastic. So, leave that there. We know about that one. Now let's go and check here because it probably should be about 3, possibly 5 turns remaining for 2 turns. Oh, glorious. So 2 turns and then this navy under the command of Senyavin. Essentially, see, ideally I would have liked him to have been in the 86 gun ship of the line, but I don't know how you can change that. I don't think you can. So it was just the first ship in the list. Never mind, it'll just have to be very, very careful. If we lose the Admiral, then we'll just have to put him in, get a new one and put him in the 86 gun ship of the line. So 2 turns away from sailing our navy into the Mediterranean and kicking French and Spanish posterior. Also, it means that once that navy is then completed, we'll be able to move that navy or use the navy to move the forces into the Mediterranean and then start attacking the edges of Spain and areas around here. So whether or not we go up for here, but to be honest, I'm thinking that that is a better option. And if I can get 2 armies loaded onto this navy, so my army from Greece and my army from Istanbul, loaded onto those ships, and then transferred over to here, and then both those armies can then rampage through Spain and then move up towards the likes of France. So, let's end the turn, because we're holding on to the money because we want to build that manufactory so that we can carry on with more research. As at the moment, the guys are researching as quickly as they can in all the areas, and obviously we're building a classical university in one of those areas. And I still keep forgetting to click on that goddamn thing. Bloody hell. Yeah, it's... Never mind. Oh, look, it's the English Navy. Ahoy there. Oh, what's this? Diplomacy with the Kingdom of Prussia. Their demand, they want technology, diamonds, and join the war with the Kingdom of Saxony, and they will give us the metric system. Yeah, what the hell. So they've got diamond formation now. We've got metric system. That will help us out. And they want us to join the war with the Kingdom of Saxony. So it's like, yeah, okay, we'll keep... The Prussians are a big, big section of the world. Now, what's this? Oh, the Vellore Mutiny. Oh, dear, he doesn't look well. So, the sons of Tipu Sultan, former regions, Mysore, descent amongst the Sepovs, or Sepoys, sorry, Hindu markings. The aftermath of the mutiny, the government of Madras was placed. So, it looks like India. Problems with India, and there's another trade ship. Yay. And here, oh, so much construction, and there's the manufactory. And there's the factory. Bosh. Straight in there. Now, let's see, because this is where we want to do our other buildings of stuff. So there, supply warehouse or market. Let's go for a market. And then let's look around. Lumber mill. We don't want to lumber them with anything, do we? Let's do that. We can't do great estates. Can we do a steam iron? No, leave that. No, no great estates. Merchant house, we'll have you. Okay, so that's building a better financial background. And look at all those super duper wonderful roads. And also it means that now we've built a manufactory. You can see there, obviously there's the manufactory. The next thing to build is the factory, which will give us joint stock companies, steam engines, mass production, which will be very helpful there. We're building the drill school, and the next thing is a court of appeals. So you can see all this stuff is being researched because of the court of justice. So let's go and see where our court of appeals is. Now, a court of justice is 6,000. Sorry, court of appeals is 6,000. And where is it? It's in Istanbul. So let's have a look at that. So 20 plus 3 repression, not ideal. Gives us additional capacity and enables to recruit those guys. So that may be something that we need to save up for. But what I'm conscious of is maybe saving up for that. But what I want to do, really, yeah, money's still good, is build up one of these armies to essentially bring it over to this place and keep them happy. Now, let's see who's in it. Right, okay, let's do that. We were keeping people on this bridge to stop any kind of movements over there. So now we'll remember. There we go, we clicked on it this time. So you can see here, here's Austria. You've got these guys who are the Saxony, who we're at war with. We're not really fussed. And France is being okay-ish. But we'll find out soon enough when we essentially go and twat them all in the face. So, in the meantime, this gentleman here will need to hoof it down to here. And this gentleman here will also hoof it to there. And they will form the initial army. Now, let's see what options. So you could have Sabines, Vorontsov, or Lisanovich. So it's 3, 4. That one's a good guy. Melancholy Soul. Soldier from birth. So he could be a good one, but he's 2,600. So we could essentially recruit them into that. Now, is the Navy complete? One more turn, and the Navy is complete. And then we shall set him sail into the Mediterranean and essentially go and pwn the French in the face with loads of cannons, because we're nice like that. But the good thing is that we have 4 trade ships standing by, ready to go. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, maybe down this area as well. So hopefully we don't lose the Navy. That would be slightly embarrassing, but, you know, based on my track record, what can you say? Anyway, that will be Napoleon Total War for this week, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry there's been no battles. It's all been campaign movement, but I'm sure you guys who have played this game understand. These are things that happen. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.